My Bill threw away all my sister's mugs instead of packing them like he promised. So we sent her new stuff just to agitate him. Asterisk original post-op asterisk. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a saga, so buckle in. For context, my sister Anna F30 has been married to Dan M33 for 3 years now. Let me just say upfront that while Dan is an bad guy, he's definitely difficult. He's one of those people who's super practical to the point where he can be kind of cold, you know. He doesn't really get sentimentality, and that's where our story begins. Anna has been collecting mugs since high school. It started off with fun, quirky designs she liked, but over time, it turned into something way more meaningful. The collection became a reflection of her life. There were mugs from trips, gifts from friends and family, and even a few that held memories of our late grandmother. It's not just stuff, it's a cabinet full of memories. Dan, however, has never been a fan of the mugs. He thinks they're pointless clutter, always rolling his eyes whenever Anna brings home a new one. "Why do we need so many mugs?" has been a common phrase around their house. Still, Anna loves them, so she kept collecting, and that's her right. I mean, we all have hobbies, right? Anyway, a few months ago, they bought a new house. Moving is stressful enough, but Dan took it upon himself to help by packing up the kitchen while Anna was at work. You can probably see where this is going. Anna gets home from work, and the first thing she notices is that her entire collection are gone. Every single one. She freaks out, understandably, and asks Dan what happened. This is where it gets real good asterisk. Dan calmly tells her, "I threw those out. They were old and didn't match the new kitchen. Figured we could buy new ones that fit the vibe of the house." Yep, you read that right. He just tossed years of memories into the trash like it was no big deal. Anna was heartbroken. She called me sobbing, and let's just say I was beyond furious. How could he be so callous? I don't care if they were just mugs to him, they meant something to her. And it wasn't even a small collection. There were dozens of them. At first, I thought about just ripping into Dan, but then my brother Jake M28 and I had a better idea. If Dan wanted to act like mugs were no big deal, we'd show him just how much mugs could matter. Update 1. After Dan threw out Anna's entire mug collection, Jake and I got to work. We called up everyone, our siblings, cousins, friends, even Anna's old college roommates. We explained the situation, and everyone was on board with our plan. The idea was simple. We were going to flood Dan and Anna's new house with mugs. And I mean, flood. We told everyone to start ordering mugs to Anna's address. Any mug they liked, any mug they thought would be funny or ridiculous. The more, the better. The goal wasn't just to replace the ones Dan threw out, it was to make him regret ever touching them in the first place. And it didn't take long for things to get out of hand. Within a few days, mugs started arriving. The first package was from our cousin Tina, who sent a cute best sister ever mug. Anna was touched, thinking it was a sweet gesture, but then the floodgates opened. Next came a giant box of mismatched mugs from my college roommate. There were mugs shaped like cats, mugs with funny quotes, and even one that was the size of a soup bowl. Anna started getting suspicious at this point, but when I explained the plan, she was all in asterisk. She thought it was hilarious. Meanwhile, Dan had no idea what was coming. Update 2. By the second week, the packages were coming in nonstop. I'm talking about 5 to 10 mugs a day. Some were funny, like the one shaped like a toilet, thanks Jake, while others were actually quite beautiful. There was a hand-painted mug from one of Anna's old high school friends and a delicate porcelain cup from an aunt we hadn't seen in years. At first, Dan was confused. He'd open a package, see a new mug, and say something like, "Oh, another one." But as the days went by, his confusion turned to annoyance. There were so many mugs that they couldn't even fit in the kitchen cabinets anymore. Anna started storing them in the pantry, and then the garage. Every time a new package arrived, Dan would just sigh in frustration. He even asked Anna, "Why are we getting so many mugs?" Did you tell people to send them? Anna, bless her heart, just played innocent. I guess people heard about what happened and wanted to help, she said sweetly. Dan wasn't buying it, but he didn't press further. However, the annoyance was written all over his face, and honestly, we were loving it. The best part, Anna was having a blast with the new collection. She posted pictures on social media every time a new mug arrived, showing off the growing chaos. Her friends and coworkers got in on the joke too, sending more mugs. Dan, meanwhile, was starting to lose it. Update 3. By week 3, the house was officially overrun with mugs. They were everywhere, in the kitchen, the living room, even on the bathroom counter. Jake sent a toothbrush holder shaped like a mug, of course. Dan was walking around the house, visibly annoyed but trying to keep his cool. I think part of him still didn't want to admit defeat, but then the breaking point came. One morning, Dan was making his usual cup of coffee. As he went to grab a mug, he accidentally knocked a whole stack of them off the counter. They shattered everywhere. Anna told me later that he just stood there, staring at the broken pieces, and finally said, "Okay, enough is enough. This has to stop." Anna, playing the long game, shrugged and said, "What? They're just mugs, right?" Dan didn't respond. He just sighed and started cleaning up the broken glass. At that moment, I think he realized that he'd messed up. But, of course, we weren't done yet. Update 4. After the mug avalanche incident, Dan finally broke down and apologized. He told Anna that he was sorry for throwing away her collection and that he hadn't realized how much they meant to her. He even offered to help her find new mugs to replace the old ones, which was sweet. But we weren't letting him off the hook just yet. See, Dan thought the mug madness was over. Little did he know, we had one more surprise up our sleeves. Jake and I decided to send Anna one last mug, a custom-made one with a picture of Don's face on it, looking exasperated. Underneath the picture, it said, Don's mug of regret. We timed it perfectly. The mug arrived just as Dan was helping Anna organize her new collection. The mugs we sent were still everywhere. When he opened the box and saw his own face staring back at him from a mug, Anna said he just burst out laughing. For the first time in weeks, the tension broke, and they both had a good laugh about the whole situation. Dan, to his credit, took it in stride. He even posed for a picture with the mug and posted it online with the caption, "Lesson learned. Don't mess with my wife's mugs." Final update. So, where are we now? Well, the mugs are still rolling in. Anna's collection is bigger than ever, and she's actually having fun organizing them. Dan, surprisingly, has been super supportive now that he understands how much they mean to her. He's even started drinking from some of the more ridiculous ones. His favorite is the toilet mug. Ironically, as for me and Jake, we're still sending a few mugs here and there, just to keep Dan on his toes. But all in all, it seems like peace has returned to their household. For now, moral of the story, don't throw away someone's sentimental stuff without asking. It might just come back to haunt you in the form of hundreds of mugs. And that, my friends, is how we turned a small act of pettiness into a full-blown operation. Thanks for sticking with me through this journey. I hope Don's lesson serves as a warning to anyone out there thinking about messing with someone's sentimental items. My brother-in-law threw away my sister's mug collection during their move because he thought they were pointless clutter. In response, my brother and I organized a massive mug sending operation, flooding their house with mugs from family, friends, and random people. Dan eventually apologized, but not before his entire house was overrun with mugs.